Hello. Um, so today what we're going over is how the coordinators will do the phase 2 for accepting and reviewing the call for programs and all of the proposals that are submitted. I've set up a training document that all of you should have received in your email, and you all have live sample reviews that you can actually follow these instructions on to do a practice run before the actual phase 2 happens in January. You will receive a new one of these forms that basically just has the updated link in it. And I don't, in case we tweak anything else between now and then, I don't expect to. There might be a couple little updates. But right now we're going to go ahead and go through this document. First off, a QOI, and I believe everyone except maybe Ryan has already signed into our new portal. But if you have any trouble accessing, so when you click this training link, it opens up the training event portal. It will do the same, the same process happens when you get the actual AC event portal link. You'll be forced to sign in. And when you do that, if you have trouble signing in, you can go ahead and contact me. My information is at the bottom, but I highly recommend you try this. Once you've signed into any of the event portals, it's the same login for our member portal and all of our event portals. So all you have to do is just make sure that you can get in one time with training, and then it'll remember your password, and then it'll work for any time else you hit any of our portals. So once you know that you can get logged in, let's go ahead and step to the next process. So starting, let's see, the call for programs ends at the end of this year, early next year, and I think the date is January 6th. That's just off the top of my head, when review 1 begins. During the time between when the first phase of reviews start, and when round 2 starts, you will receive it'll probably be a PDF document, but it's going to be a list of all of your team's abstracts that they're responsible for reviewing, who the reviewer is, the name of that abstract, and whether or not it's been completed. So you can see in this sample here, most of them have not been started. There's a couple of completed ones. This is our test. That's the reason why, and I think I pulled this pretty early. Not too many people had started practicing yet. But you'll get a list, so you'll know for your team of reviewers who is getting their stuff done or not. And you might, I believe, Mary, you're just going to have them, give them a nudge like through email saying, hey, don't forget to get this done. And during that couple of weeks that they have to complete the round 1 reviews, you can you'll get a couple of these. That way you can keep track of progress. So then the next step after that, so let me refresh my memory here. So round 1 or phase 1 of reviews begins that first week in January. I believe it's Friday the 6th. Am I saying that correct, Mary? Does that sound right to you? And that's going to run through, I think they have until, well, they have until I close round 1. The first 2 weeks, I believe it's through the 22nd, really, they would be able to complete their reviews. I think we're telling them the 20th. And then on the 23rd is when I will close round 1 and open round 2. At that time, you're going to receive another report that looks similar to this area here, where it has a list of all of your team's abstracts, how they were scored, any comments that were given, who the reviewer was, and who the submitter was. And you can kind of use this as a guide as you do your reviews and decide on which ones you want to accept or decline. So what I recommend doing is you're going to open this email that you're going to get with this document. You'll open this document up in one area on your screen. And then as you go to the next step here, you'll click the link that will be in the official document. It'll bring up the event portal. You're going to, and here, let me bring that up so you can see what I'm talking about. So you're going to go to the link that takes you to the home page. Then you're going to click under Presenter Service Center. You're going to click on My Reviews. And you can see I'm actually logged in here as Vicki. So we'll see what reviews. So right now she only has one under her, but this is our chest. You'll see lots and lots of them under here. And these are now the ones that she's going to go through. Okay, I'm concerned why this says round one here, but now these are the reviews that she'll go through. So she'll use her score sheet. So here is an example of the score sheet. No, that's not the score sheet. Results. Here we go. So here's the score sheet, and she can find. I'm going to make this a little smaller. So over here, I can find the one. I don't see it in my example, the particular one she has, but you can take a look at the score. So you'll match up on your list, your, review over here, and take a look at how the other reviewers scored it, any comments that they had. And you'll see several of them obviously on this sheet because there will be a bunch of people reviewing the same ones. You can see what they said about it, who said what the score was. Then you'll come over here and you'll click on Submit Review. That's going to give you, you'll see the first one is the actual abstract itself. So you can see what it looks like. Yeah, something's wrong here. I'll have to look into this. This will have the submitter's name, and the presenter should also be there too. So you're actually going to see, it's not going to be blind. You will see who the submitter was, who the presenter was. You'll click next. Then you're going to be asked the same questions that the review one people had. And this isn't the right form. I'll have to look into why that happened. Let me log in a different way here. Go to I want to make sure you see what you'll actually see. I'm not sure why that didn't come up correctly for Vicki. I'll have to look into that. But you'll see something that looks like this, where you'll see it says round 2, and you'll click the actions. It'll take you, here's where you can see the submitter and the presenter. You'll click next. You'll fill out the ratings, your ratings. This was, you can look at the scores from the Excel sheet and then look at your ratings. You can compare the two. And then you'll come down here and you'll choose whether or not it's accepted, could be used as an alternate, or if it's declined. And then you can type in comments. Comments to submitters will be seen by submitters, so keep that in mind. And something's missing here. I have to fill these all out. And now I can click next. It's going to present you just to take one last look here. You can click back, or you can click Save Changes. And then on your front screen, you can see that it's been completed and you can move on to the next one. Any questions? I see there's a chat here. Oh, Holly put the timeline in the chat for when things are happening. So.
Just the one thing, and I believe Kim was working on it. I think she had it figured out, but I would encourage you all to, you can read those abstracts for the groups that you're reviewing during round 1. You can't do any of your scoring, but to save yourself some time, I would encourage you to start reading them during that time so that you are able to really understand them. It will save you a good amount of time if you're able to read them ahead of time, and to go from that part there.
Yep, and just to point that out, it will look like this. So when you log in during that round 1 time, you actually can get in there and do a review. So if you click over here, you can actually submit a review. You don't have to. But if you click over here, you can see your abstracts that you're going to be responsible for, and you can actually start reading them at that time if you like.
Yeah, one piece of nuance I might add is you have the capability of submitting your review during round 1, but we don't want you to because you're doing it round 2. So giving you the round 1 access is just for viewing.
Yes, and yeah, so your scores actually won't count. It's just there's no way for us to get rid of that link on here. So your scores won't count, even though you can get there. Any questions?
Just that when you do your final selection of approve, deny, pending, I think was the other one. Those will be your recommendations based on the reviews from your reviewers, based on what you saw in that evaluation. So if you want it to be an accepted program, then you'll do that. If you don't think it's ready to be presented at a CUHO, then it becomes a decline. If you're like, if somebody else doesn't take it, we'll bring this one in. Sure. So, but that will be basically the final recommendation from your group to the committee for what to do with that program.
And one other item I want to mention, when you get access to the official ACE event portal, you're going to see, in addition to the presenter service center, you're going to see like an exhibitor service center. You're going to see registration links. There'll be a lot more links along here, but you want to make sure you're looking to do your reviews. That's underneath the presenter service center.
Can I ask a question going back to kind of what we were just talking about, to make sure that I'm following kind of the track? So we look at the report and we do our review, and that's both, like, our review should take into consideration the team's review that we're leading, and as far as that final recommendation.
No, like, you shouldn't be like everybody. You can read it ahead of time and you can look to see what they say. I would always recommend reading the abstracts first, and kind of figuring out, like, what do you think about that abstract? How would you rank it, even like without it being an accepted or a denied program or whatever? And then compare, after you've read it, then you look at what people are saying. Like, some of them are really simple. Like, if you have everybody who reviews a program and they all are like 4s across the board, they have really great comments, chances are when you read it, you're going to say, yep, I'm going to agree with that person. It's going to be accept. It's where you get with the, like, 3 people say have a really high score, 2 people have a really low score. There's a disconnect somewhere in there. I want to see what this is. And so you read that abstract clearly without seeing what they are saying, so that you can then make your determination based on what do you think that program will be. And then the comments, and hopefully there's some comments, and if the comments are things that can easily be changed in the program proposal that people just need to make changes to, then that is still, I think, a program that can be accepted, because the idea is that when really we want people to give that feedback to make those presentations better.
Gotcha.
But there's been very few programs that I have not approved that usually everybody within my group had already thought was for really great. I've only ever had like maybe 2 or 3 each, where there's been like, like on the fence, like some people are really here, some people are really over on this side, can't quite figure out where we want them to be.
Gotcha. And then not so much with kind of the site or that part of the process, but like, do you encourage that we meet with like, or try to get a meeting together with our review team and kind of after they've had a chance to review, or no? Is that something that's been seen as successful in the past? I feel like that's been done when I was a reviewer in the past, but I could be making that up in my head.
What will happen is, and I'll probably go over it again tomorrow for the group, but you'll get an email from me saying that, we're ready to go. And here is an email that you can send out to your people when they can start reviewing. It includes the outline of, or the review form for them to follow along with. And then some suggestion, like if you have a group, like have people start at the top, like you have 40 programs, assign a few people to start at the top of the list, assign a few people to start at the bottom. So that way, at least they're trying to get everything done. And if you want to have a meeting, you absolutely can. I know I haven't really been able, I was never really able to schedule it. I usually just communicated by email that people were doing it. And then there's often times where we're like, okay, you really got to get this done. You really got to get this done. And if you find that your people aren't getting it done, then you need to let me know so that I can find another person to at least review some of those programs.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will say that the second part of it is like, so this is the first part of round 2. After you do the evaluation, then you're going to have to rank all your accepted programs, and then we go from there. And then we do slotting, and so this is the beginning part of that process. Great. Well, I would say then if there are no final or additional questions, we do have a meeting tomorrow, so I'll just go over some highlights about the process, making sure that people try to get on to see that they can do it. And then we will go forth and start the program review in a couple weeks or a month. Yeah, a month and a day. Happy 2023. And then from there, we will, do our rankings and we'll be in Portland before you know it. So. Okay, I think we can stop recording.